G'day guys, welcome back to Wombat Gaming. We are going to be doing something different today. We're going to be talking about the Caravan. If you are playing on the preview branch, you're going to know what I'm talking about. If you're not playing on the preview branch, you're going to have to stick around and watch this because this is all going to change. And tell me, this is going to be the biggest change apart from the new like quests and things that they're adding and new content. This is going to be the single biggest change that they're going to have in game, so just bear that in mind. So stick around, we're going to talk about it. And what is it? Well, normally you would do your transfers through your outpost system and they would just happen at the stroke of midnight and they'd be automatic. There'd be no walking back and forward. It was a pretty simple system. They had its limitations, but they have introduced this thing, and you can see all these carts floating around me now. We have this thing here, and it's found in a tech tree under the village hall section. So what we want to do is we want to find it. We have the market. It's yeah, so it's in this section here, the very first section, but you have to get through a couple of things to get to it. And there it is. There's small caravan station. So once you've built your stockpile, come up and it's here. It automatically will give you the cart once you've researched it, but it's called a small caravan station and cart. This does lead to the market, which unfortunately you need a laborer to unlock that, which would mean you would have to liberate, I think it's Farnsworth if I remember rightly. Yeah, you'd need to liberate Farnsworth. Anyway, that's the market. We haven't gotten there yet, and this is all about the caravan. You get this pretty early game and you can start using it. Now, the pros and cons to using it early game are two things. One, the pros are that you can you can trade with towns and things like that and transfer goods, and you're going to have to do this anyway. But apart from that, the downside is that from now on, these can get attacked on the road. So if you are traveling between an outpost, like say my little copper outpost over here, and you were traveling back and forth and you had bandit camps, this cart could get attacked. Or if it was running up towards Erendine, less likely to get attacked. But if it ran into some bandits on the road, same thing would apply. And every town's going to be the same. So that the carts can be attacked now. And I'll show you ways that you can prevent that as well. Now, let's have a look at it. So we've got the way to build a cart is through here. You need a copper ingot and 7 wood. You can build them yourselves. We also have a storage section here. Honestly, I have no idea what this storage section is for. I've done quite a few transfers and I've not been able to get this to do anything. So if the devs are listening, tell us what it's for. I'd love to know. Also, we have this. This is the main section. So this is where you tell, you can rename your caravan station. You can tell it how many carts you want it to have. And just bear in mind, it will make a cart for you. The guys will come and make a cart for you. And we have like runs. Now I've got 2 runs in here that I'm going to show you how I've set them up in a second. But we have what I call the copper run. So when you open up this copper run and hit edit, when you create a new one, this is what you're going to see. And you're going to have this rename section up the top here. You're also going to have a few things like the number of carts you want to go on the trip here. Also, you can add guards to this as well. So if you want to protect your carts and they're going to places where you think you're going to run into bandits, you could add guards to it. These people are coming out of your NPCs, so just remember that. So you're losing them from doing work around, around your town. Now, we just had an activation just then, and I'll show you what happened. You can see it just went green, and in the edit system, it just said copper on the way. So just bear that in mind. Now, that was triggered by this here. This is set up as send automatically. Now, we want to edit this because I'm not happy with the way this is set up. So I'm going to recall the caravan and we're going to reset it in a second. So you can manually recall them if you want to. And he was in the middle of doing a load, but we'll go through this in a second. Now this was triggered by this 26 here. And if I open up if I click on the copper, this section here, this is the goods section. I can highlight copper, and over to the far left, you can see that the main settlement, New Land, has 87, and then copper has 44 in there. Now that obviously got triggered somewhere from 26 onwards. It isn't instant, I've found. For some reason, it seems to be after the fact, but it's not instant. I don't know why, but yeah, just letting you know, you don't expect it as soon as it hits 27 in this case. to automatically go. It just for some reason doesn't work that way. Now, so what are we doing? So we've got a copper. We want to pick up copper. Now, we've got one cart. It holds 50 items, as you can see over here. Now, obviously, ore takes up 2 spots, so you're only going to get 25 ore in there at the most. But we want to bring back with this this ore. We want to bring back the broken pickaxes that are going out there because we don't want to leave them there and we don't want to have to bother going to get them. So we're going to add the broken pickaxe. Now we can put this as one time or load all or don't load it, but or load requested. So it's I think one time I think it'll stay in there. I've tested it a few times. Load all is just if it has 3 or 4 pickaxes there, so you could put that in there as well and it'll ignore this figure probably. And then we have don't load if you want something not to be picked up there. So if we want, say, I think that's what it's for. I haven't actually got this bit to work, but obviously they're producing a lot of stone there, so I will put don't load, and then I don't want them to load any stone. Now we want to obviously send them pickaxes daily, so we'll keep an eye on this and see. We'll send 1 pickaxe a day and see what happens. So down here it's a requested item. So this is going to come from this settlement to that settlement. So you can see over here on the right, we have copper. That's our settlement. And this is the items we want to pick up and not pick up. And then we have the item that we want to send. And then down the bottom, this is the expected deliveries. And it'll show you what, what's going to happen and should happen. So that's setting it up. Now to set this going, as you could, just one more point, when you hover over to the left, I did point this out already, but you can see on the left hand side, it's telling you the quantity of stocks that you have in each outpost too. So that's important to keep an eye on. But we'll just set this to set automatically. And then you'll see it's become active straight away. So someone should come and grab, there you go, one of these. And there is a little bit of a funny, I guess, mechanism that's working at the moment, and I hope they do fix it. But he doesn't go straight to the barn, so just bear that in mind. He will go off, and I thought, oh, he's leaving without the pickaxe the first time I did try this. But if we open up the map, you can see this is him here. You can see the little cart sort of moving across the map. And he will do a U-turn in a minute. For some reason they walk into this section. I'm not sure if that's the same on everybody's maps. Let me know. But you can see he's getting to about here, and then he's going to turn around and walk back to the barn in a second. And it's, yeah, usually about this section here. Now, yeah, I'd like the feedback from anybody who is playing Preview Branch. It's just, have you experiencing the same thing? Here he comes, he's coming back now. I would prefer if you just to leave the caravan and go straight to the barn. Our pickaxes that he's looking for are in this end one. And so he's going to come back to this one in a second, so we'll keep an eye on him. Now, if you're ever wondering who is doing the caravans, there's a few things you can do. In your settlement tab, you can go to population, and if you're in the job priorities, you can actually select who you want to be caravan guards by making them 1, or you want them to be a caravan carrier. They will attack as well. So I had this guy Otho selected as 1, and you can see, well, let's go, that is Otho, so he was the first, and then you can see that there's the pickaxe in the cart, so you can hover over the cart as he's walking away. You can see there's one pickaxe in there, so he is off. We'll check him on the way back and see whether what he brings back with him. That's the first delivery. Now if you want to also track them, let's go back to the settlement tab. You can actually scroll down and see who's got a cart. There's a little symbol next to it, and you can see here with Otho, he's a little cart symbol. At the moment, he's a caravaneer. I don't know how you pronounce that, but that's caravaner, I guess. So he's, yeah, selected there, and anybody that's even guards will show up on here as well. So just bear that in mind. So that's how you set up a settlement. Now you don't need to have one of these at the other end. You just need to have a stockpile that they can pick up from. That's what I've found. I think the stockpile is working well. So if you are setting up outposts, now that's going to be the catch for people who are wanting to get rarer materials. We are looking at, trying to get over here and get some iron ore or even granite. heavily banded area. And yeah, it's going to be, even if we wanted to come and get mosses, these areas are quite banded, polluted. So early game, it's going to make it a little bit more challenging. So this is where you might, if you are sending a cart, want to add a guard or 2 or 3, if you're wanting to, not have to fast travel there yourself and collect the goods yourself. That is always an option with transfers. You could just go, obviously open up your backpack and you could chuck in, what we got, 6. We're going to get 6, 12 to 15 ingots in there. But you're going to get with a 50, you're going to get with a cart 25. But obviously you can just fast travel using a fast travel sign if you want to. But if you want it to be automated, this is the way to do it. Now, the other thing you can do with this is you can set up I'll just delete this one. You can set up transfers and buy things from towns. So the way to do that would be just to hit the add button here, and we'll do one of them now, and we'll go through some pros and cons to what you would want to think about. Now, these ones, I don't think you should leave them as what I would say, automatic. Like the ones that you're sending to outposts, you could send as automatic because the goods are always going to be there. But I found with the village ones, the goods aren't always going to be there, and the prices change as well. So it can be a bit frustrating. And they change, in my opinion, probably too quickly. They don't allow the car to actually cart to get there in some cases, and goods won't get sold. And I'll show you why, and we'll explain that in a second. Now, the same with outposts. You can, with the carts here, you can add extra carts. You can add extra guards. You can set it as automatic, but I don't advise doing it for a village. And then there is an automatic send button, which is what we'll be using. We won't use this one. So what you want to do is when you create a new one, you want to select village. It'll default to Herondine every time, I found. So if you want to change it, you come over here to the left and you choose the right village that you want. We'll use Herondine as an example. And you can add stops as well. I find though adding a stop would be, they only hold 50 capacity. So if you wanted to do a loop through Herondine down the Padstow and back, I'd probably add an extra cart and maybe add some guards and do it that way. So that's, if you wanted to do it that way. So just think about that if you are adding stops, but it's pretty easy to add a stop. You just add the stop and then edit, but we'll just delete that one for this one. All right, so we're going to edit Herondine. We have over here on the left, there's a few things that aren't working, I found. I don't know what these little up and downs are for. I'll show you what I thought they were thought for, but they don't seem to work. Now we have a buy tab. This is goods that we want to buy, and it's pretty simple. You just click on it. That's the price you'd be paying. You can adjust the price. You can offer more or offer less. But bear in mind, if you offer less, the prices do fluctuate up and down, and I haven't really worked out how and why they do, but they do. So at the moment that's $11.17, but it may be $20 the next time you look, or it may be $5. So I tend to just leave it as is and hope for the best. But we're not going to be buying anything today. We don't need anything from Herondine. We're actually going to try and sell some goods. Now, being that the cart only holds 50 items, you want to prioritize things that are higher value, in my opinion. So it's up to you how you want to do this, but we'll just go for broke. Now, the first items you selected seem to be the things, in my opinion, that get picked up first. So bear that in mind. So if we select on straw and then, leave all the garments that we maybe have that are more expensive to last, he may not pick them up because he might have room in his cart. So just bear that in mind. So I always like to check the more expensive items first, see if I've got any. Now you can see they want 2 of these Pathfinder high boots, but we don't have any in either outpost. You can see on the left there in storage, it's 0. So, and that's the case with, I think, most of these. I think the only thing we might have is the peasant's cap. It's worth 33. We have one, so I'm going to add that to the cart. I'm going to leave it as sell all. You can put sell requested, but for some reason, I think this is a glitch. It removes it from the expected delivery section. So I'm not sure why that happens, but I found that if I do that he won't pick the item up. Or we'll test it, actually. I'll leave it like that and we'll test it. So sell requested. It's gone from here though. This is my worry. Now we'll add another item. We'll just add these. Now the only other thing that I'm not I think they need to add is a quantity button. As you can see, this is saying 4. There's no way of actually adjusting the 4. You can't make it 2. You can't make it 3. It has to be the 4. You can only adjust the price, so just bear that in mind. So we'll go through and check anything that we want to sell. We've got plenty of hemp. Checking your quantities off to the left hand side, we've got 122, so that's not a problem. We've got reeds in abundance, so we can sell the 4 reeds. That's no problem. Here's a good example of something that we may have wanted to adjust, and that is the thatch. It's asking for 26, which is just about all my thatch. So I would have probably sold a little bit of it, but I've got no way of adjusting the quantity at this stage. So hopefully look out for that. They may fix that. The same would apply with the cob. I don't want to sell all my cob. They're after 41. I don't want to sell it all. If I click on that button, I assume it's going to try and sell everything that I have in the cart. Hammers, carpenter's hammers, we have 9 in stock and they want 4. Last time I tried to sell these, this price changed, so I'll watch that price. It's $89.45, so I'm going to click on it, and we're going to add those to the cart. And see the bandages too, they don't want any bandages, but I've noticed before that they added bandages as soon as I set the cart. So these things do change, so just bear that in mind. The days go pretty quick, and this tutorial, if you're not quick with this, you may miss out. So we're going to add we'll add the straw as well. So quite a few things there you can see. We've got them all on sell all except for the peasant's cap. So that should get picked up first. So we'll see what happens. Now, once that's done, essentially these little arrows is the other thing I was going to show you. I thought that maybe you could click on potato and maybe move it up or move it to the top, but it doesn't seem to do it for some reason. So or move it to the bottom. It doesn't seem to work. So I'm not really sure what these tabs are for. If you've figured that out, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, that's set now. It's ready to go. So all we need now is to just do the send caravan, and we will basically then just have to see it's active, and then we're just waiting on someone to come and grab one of these. So what we're going to do is just going to wait and see this as a test what they actually do grab, and yeah, we'll take a look at that one. All right, we waited around just a minute just to see, when you send automatic yourself and not automatic, they just come straight away. But you can see this person here. This is Crimson Reed. So he's grabbed it, and he's going to do his little walk into the center of the camp and then come back. So we will wait here for him to come back, and then we'll see what sort of goods he grabs. All right, here comes our cart back from doing his little loop into the middle of our camp, and he's going to head, but it looks, to where the food is kept. So he picked up, you can see the potato, the beetroots, but he did go to the to this one's where on my others. So okay, he picked up the hammers, but he didn't pick up the cap. You can see the cap's not in there, the hat. And what's he getting from here? And he picked up the hemp and the river reed. He's going to a couple more down here. And the straw. Okay, so he's off now with all his goods. And we'll go back and have a look at the caravan, and I'll show you what we had in here. So you can see everything but the peasant's cap. So sell requested is either bugged or I don't know what it's for, so just bear that in mind. I won't change it now, but yeah, that did not get picked up. First time I tested this, it did get picked up, so yeah, that one is another thing that I think they need to look at getting fixed. Now the way to find these guys on the map is to just open it up, and you can see the little symbol. This guy's coming back now, so we'll go and see what he's got. Now sometimes you can see the person symbol, like you can see this is Crimson Reed, but for some reason we can't see this is Otho, and he's not there, so that's probably another small bug that hopefully they'll get ironed out. But I've noticed that as well. You can see the symbol up, and it must be, maybe it's a location proximity to the camp going out, but you can see it's gone now, but on the way in maybe he will appear when he gets closer to the camp. So but you're just looking for that cart symbol. All right, we're going to go and take a look now at, it's going to get some food at him and see what we actually got. We did ask to fill up max and grab any of the broken pickaxes. Now I've tested this a couple of times and I have had mixed results. Sometimes the cart is not full. So we'll just see what's happened this time. Yeah, we got this is not a bad result. We had 21 copper and we got the 1 broken pickaxe. So what he's going to do now is essentially just walk back into the middle of the camp, and then he will put those items into the barns, or your storage, whatever the case may be, and you're good to go. So now we're just waiting for the sale of the items that are heading to, let's have a look, to the town. Now, 2 things to remember when you're buying, if you're buying goods, the money will come straight out of your account in the top left hand corner, I've noticed. So just keep that in mind. It's instant. But when you're selling, you don't make the money until he gets back to camp. And I will show you why. Sorry, it's so dark. All right, we can see he's on his way back, and you can see the caravan. When I've noticed it in the past, I did miss the turnaround, but he doesn't go all the way into town. He kind of gets to the border and it does the exchange. So just bear that in mind. But it is very dark at the moment, so I do apologize. The patch that was released has messed up the darkness of nights. It's quite dark, even with this torch, which is not really working. So we're just going to wait for this guy to get back to town, and I'll show you the transfer. We're going to check his cart too, and I'll show you, see if we sold everything. So we are looking at the 3,172 gold at the moment, and we're going to see whether his cart is actually empty. And when he gets back to town, we'll see the exchange in the actual gold. All right, I caught up with the cart. It's quite dark, but you can quickly see that we have the 4 hammers still in there, and I'll show you the reason why they are still in there. We'll run back to the caravan station. All right, we're back at the caravan station, and we'll open up that run, and I'll show you why I think we didn't sell those items. If we double click on Herondine again, and we take a look at this has happened to me last time I tried to sell them as well. You can see we tried to sell those hammers here at the 89.45, but you can see the price here in Herondine is now 46.96. It's like almost half the cost of what it was before. So, and you'll see that, you know, things change. Like the bandages are now in there. There's 2 bandages. I can't remember what the price was of those, but I remember that they didn't want any last time we set this up. So bear that in mind. You're going to have carts going back and forwards to towns, buying and selling things that the prices will go up and down on. The problem I guess you've got is that it's too frequent, and I hope they fix that, because I get that there should be a little bit of leeway, but that's $89, 89 gold, and then this now is 46 gold. That's a considerable difference. Yeah, so now I wasn't paying attention to our gold. The cart probably should be back. Here he comes now. And I think the gold did exchange. We didn't make a ton of money. But you can see him walking back into town over here. And yeah, pretty much, I think that's pretty much it in regards to the caravans. Again, sorry about the darkness, but if you've got any questions, or you think that I might have missed anything, or you've got any suggestions in how they could probably improve the caravans even more, please pop them in the comments below. I'll pass that feedback through the Discord to them. I do think there's a little bit of tweaking to be done in regards to the caravans, but I'm excited. It's something more realistic than the way we had it before. The instant, traveling of goods is something that was, I guess convenient. But then in saying that, unless you want to fast travel back and forwards between your settlements, I think going forward, the cart is definitely the way to go. So anyway, let me know what your thoughts are. Thank you again for watching. This is Wombat out. I'll see you on the next video.
Wenn wir dich so lässt, schwarz und deinen takes to the skies with pixels ablaze and battles untamed. We'll conquer the virtual